Okay, question number 1. My wife said she's extremely afraid to allow closeness because she thinks I want sex. I don't know exactly where this comes from, as I've never pressured her into anything, but apparently she's afraid of disappointing me if she doesn't want sex after a massage, for example. That's why she often doesn't allow closeness at all. I made it clear to her that it's not about the sex, but about being close as a couple, and that sex is a side effect that can, but doesn't have to be. She understood that the conversation was very important, but I probably should have had it earlier because I think she didn't realize how strong it was. She also said she thinks it's great that I want to invest in the relationship and work on the issues. So, here's the big question. Are there ways I can signal to her even more that sex is not the goal? First and foremost, in response to this, is as a woman, I really want to portray this for all men. Please don't take it personally when we don't want to have sex. Let me give you a little bit of insight into my journey in my life. I love having sex. I'm a very sexual person, very sensual person. Me and my partner love making love all the time. And there are times when I just feel full. I feel full from eating. I feel full from work. I feel full from pressures. There's so much energy. I feel full because I didn't get my full 8 hours of sleep. There's a lot going on in my field, and sex for a woman is receiving energy. Sex for men is releasing energy. We literally receive you, and you very often release. So it makes us more full. It means that we basically energetically imprint and receive all of you. And very often in a relationship, we as women fucking love our partners. We love intimacy. We love connection. And there's an association that intimacy equals sex. And this is a very common byproduct of our conditioning in society. A lot of men are programmed from pornography or all these things that intimacy is through sex. And women feel it energetically. We feel it emotionally. So when you're in a partnership and your woman basically starts to not want to have sex, one is recognize that she feels full and validate that. So what you can say in basically signaling to her that you're taking sex out of the equation or not as a goal is say, hey babe, I'm recognizing that your field is really full at the moment. There's a lot going on for you. How are you feeling? When you validate a woman's feelings, she's able to not project onto you and reject you. She's able to express and offload. And that's our way of releasing energy. And then we have space. If you sit with your woman and let her release all of her problems, she's going to feel space and then feel that you are her hero. If you have not validated what's going on in her field or recognized or had the consciousness to see that that's happening, and then you are like, let's just have a massage. Let me come into your body. Let me come into your field. She's going to feel like, I can't take any more. It's too much. And she's just going to close. So tip number 1, if you're wanting to create and foster intimacy, is validate that there's a lot going on in her field. So just say you recognize there's a lot going on. What's up? What's happening? Give her a place to offload onto you and be in a place in your life where you can hold that, where you can be there for her, where you can sit in silence and love her and support her. Very often she's going to soften and melt and open up in intimacy. The second thing in taking sex out of the equation, as in like not the goal, is create a fun challenge and a game, especially if you're in a long-term partnership. Get into your mind as the man that you get to have a lot of sex. You get to have lifelong sex with your partner, and you guys get to explore different ways of deepening your intimacy, which is so fucking juicy. And in that, you get to then play with how value and intimacy gets to be created. One of the ways you do that is where you take the pressure off entirely and you give women the place to feel empowered in her sex energy. How to? You sit with her and you say, babe, I recognize there's a lot going on in your field and you're full. And I want to support you, and I also want to cultivate fun and a place for you to basically feel expressed and completely safe. And I so want to validate that you've said that you felt like you can't fully trust me, even though it's not you guys. It's not because you've been putting pressure on her. It's her field having a subconscious reaction because she can't take any more energy in. So what I want to do for you is I want to do 5 days or 1 week, 7 days, where we absolutely do not have sex. Like, it's a non-negotiable, we're not going to have sex. It's completely off the table. But I want for the next 7 days us to then meet each other. I want you to fully express yourself. I want you to feel everything. In fact, I want you to open yourself so much. I want you to make me want you if you want that, but we're not going to have sex. And then begin to ask her, what would you like to receive from me, physically, emotionally, that would create a space for you where we know sex is not going to happen this week, but we have 7 days to really optimize this time together. What you've done is you've completely removed the goal and you've created a 7-day window where you can begin to experience intimacy together. For a woman, nothing excites us more than really turning our man on and knowing that it's a no. It's something I realized in my life recently. It's been so beautiful. I was celibate for 5 years and I loved it. I loved celibacy. I loved being sensual and juicy and flirty and fun and knowing no one is fucking coming inside this body. It really gave me power. And for women, it's empowering. So when that is in her field, like, I can do whatever I want and you're not gonna have sex with me, there's a beauty of it, especially in a partnership where intimacy is there and you're basically exploring shadow desires. A shadow desire of a woman very often can be to be fully sexually open, naked, legs apart, everything. And he says, I get to say no and he respects me. I get to set a boundary and he's not going to cross it. In fact, women and the feminine go as far as to long to make you want them and you say no. So she wants to be in a place, and I can say this, where she's begging you, please fuck me, and you say no. And this is where the feminine loves to test the boundary of the masculine. She wants to feel your strength and your presence and your commitment and your authenticity by being in such a polar opposite energy that she's the one that wants you and you say no to her. This gives her the opportunity to play out her inner polarity of sensing the power role in sex in a relationship, which most women never have the opportunity, because the minute we say we want sex, the guy's fucking right in there, my friend. So to create safety, that sex is not a goal with your partner, is to allow her the space to go into the polar equal opposite role that she's been in your partnership. Meaning, take sex completely off the table and you stand in your sovereignty as a man. It's not happening for the next 7 days. Full fucking stop. And that's where you anchor into your cock, you go into sublimation, you go into your breath work, you do your fucking due diligence as a man in your personal practice to set that boundary. And then you say, babe, it's off the table for 7 days, but I want you to be fully expressed. Whatever you want, I'm here for you. And give her the space to be in the opposite role. Be like, babe, I want you to be at a place where you're begging me if you want it, where you're like teasing me beyond, where I am weak at my knees for you. I want you to test my strength and my sovereignty and my no, because I love you. And I want us to feel that polarity. And for a woman, it creates that space. Then what you get to do is say, hey, let's go into our massage time. Let's go into this and encourage her. When you're giving her a yoni massage, when you're giving her breast massage, be like, yes, baby, make me want you. Go louder, express more, let her get fully expressed and feel your sexual tension. You're going to start to fucking get super hard, super like, oh my God, can I hold this? And she's going to get more and more passionate for you because there's the safety of no goal, where she gets to now play the role of begging you, babe, please fuck me, please. But you say no, and it fulfills in her a part that she's never felt fulfilled in. And so in doing so, you've healed her shadow and her unmet need, as well as built your boundary and your sexual sovereignty in yourself, and created intimacy and polarity in your partnership. So that would be my suggestion and recommendation for question number 1.